Hello everyone, welcome to FlatWebTV, the monthly show where we talk about the top news in the world of flatland BMX. My name is Justin Hoey.
I'm Anthony Bulio.
And this is FlatWebTV. Well, welcome everybody to episode number 2 of FlatWebTV Season 2. We've got a ton of cool stuff to talk to you about today. We've got a great interview and some great stories that we've picked out. So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, no time to waste. So kind of a bit of a bummer in the announcements. The first thing we talk, why is it always the first thing we talk about sad news?
We have to start on a downer. We got to build up from it.
Exactly. So one of the premier contests every year that a lot of people look forward to, especially in Europe. It's a staple in Europe.
Yep.
Circle Cow, it was announced that this year's event would be canceled.
Yeah, big bummer. I mean, this contest has been around, I think, my entire flatland life.
Yeah, it's tried and true. It's always there. It's always got a high level of riding. It would have been number 13, which might say something that's kind of unlucky. But it sounds like one of the key sponsors dropped out.
Two of the key sponsors. Not
two of them.
Two, yeah.
It sounds like KHE was still down to support it and put some money into it, but that was not enough to support the contest completely. They are going to make plans to do this next year for number, I wonder if they'll call it 13 or 14.
No, call it 14.
Just call it
13
14.
is unlucky.
Yeah, move on.
Yep.
But yeah, kind of a bummer. I mean, we've seen great contest videos in the past. We saw, the epic Matthias and Adam Kuhn battle where Adam hurt his leg. One of them in 2008 when Sam Foakes just went off. So it's a bummer to have that contest get canceled. And it'll be back next year.
Yep. We're really looking forward to seeing number 14.
Number 14, sure. Yeah. Something else that came up from that you brought to my attention.
Super stoked about this. Really excited. So I'm going to read the headline here. So the headline of this story, this article that came across was former BMX world champion turns his eye to custom cars.
Who are we talking about? Andrew
Faris, man. Andrew freaking Faris.
Nice.
I like Andrew Faris. Amazing rider, and we've talked about this before. Just kind of to us, just dropped off the face of the planet.
Yep.
Just no more BMX, no contact. And has started doing custom car work. And we kind of knew that before, but this article goes through, kind of about how he, exited BMX and got into custom cars, which are a huge passion for him.
Not just a hobby. I mean,
not just a hobby.
All in on that.
All in.
Yeah.
And really talks about some of the parallels between his BMX life and the custom car work that he does. It's a really, really cool article about it, and it's good to hear something good about an pro flatlander.
Absolutely.
I love hearing stories like this.
Yeah.
It's just a cool story. Just really enjoyed it.
It's not like he's just going and fixing transmissions. I mean, he's making beautiful works of art with these cars.
Beautiful work.
Yeah.
We'll have a link to the article in the show notes. Definitely go read it. It's a lengthy article. It's not just 2 paragraphs. It's a good lengthy article.
Yeah.
About him and what he's doing today. Check out some of his work. And
then go back and look at some of his riding videos to remind you just how good he was.
He was a great rider.
Yeah, awesome.
Actually, I saw him in person.
Oh yeah, what's this whole Portland connection you told me about?
Yeah, so there's a little weird Portland connection, and this might be my fault. So his last contest was here in his last professional contest. He said was here in Portland, Oregon, which was the B3 contest, and that just so happened to be the first contest that I ever competed in.
You think there's a connection?
God, I hope not, because I love his riding so much. I would hate to be the cause of that. I didn't want to be the guy that was like, Andrew.
What place did he get at that contest?
Gosh.
He had to place pretty high.
I think he ended up getting first place.
Okay, what place did you get?
I got second to last place.
Nice. Bookends.
Yeah. But it was fun, my first contest, and hopefully that maybe since this story came up and we're talking about it, Flat Matters is talking about it, maybe he'll grace us with his presence someday with some awesome riding.
That would be cool. But good to hear that he's doing something awesome, like making works of art as far as the cars are concerned.
Now, speaking of works of art.
Yeah, this is a good one. So Matti Hemmings, we've seen him, we've talked about him on the show before. I occasionally chat with him on Facebook. He put out an edit not too long ago. Nice and short, it wasn't too long, not too short. The location was awesome, it was in a bowling alley.
Yeah, and when you told
Bristol,
me,
I think.
Exactly, and when you told me about it, I was like, oh, it's awesome edit. It took me about an hour to find it, so we'll definitely have a link to it in the show notes, but killer setting, man.
Yeah, nice setting. It just seemed very, I mean, obviously there's no people in there, it was off hours or something, but it wasn't a gigantic bowlerama type place. It was a nice, it looked like an old school bowling alley. Great editing, great, choice of music, kind of funky. I just like the whole, front to back. It's the kind of edit that I really would want to watch a few times. I think one of his sponsors, Dephect Clothing, helped him do this, and a guy named Louis Gain, I think, shot and edited it. Just nice camera angles. He did a couple like close-in shots, like not a GoPro. It's called the Drift Innovation. It's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So it's attached to his back peg, and you get some real cool angles when he's got his foot hooked up underneath the fork and the head tube there doing the spins. Great riding, great video. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have seen it, go check it out anyway. It's worth a look.
Definitely a cool video, and definitely one that I think we're going to kind of set aside and keep on the pile for maybe end of year.
Good idea. We'll talk about this again in December.
I think so. It's pretty good.
It's definitely a good video, and he's a good guy all around. I mean, he puts on a contest, or he put on a contest this year. He's always involved, so check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we got to take a quick break, but when we come back from the break, we will have an exclusive interview with Steve Lapsley from the AMFLAT Circuit. We've got some news. He's got some news to pass along to us.
Some exclusive news that you're going to hear first.
You're going to want to stay tuned to hear what he's got to say.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back, and we have a special interview with none other than Steve Lapsley from the AMFLAT Circuit. Now, as you know, this will be the third year, so there's going to be some changes, some new information, and I think he's got an exclusive announcement for us.
I'm certain he does, actually.
How would you know that?
Because he said it on Twitter, actually.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So let's get him up on the old Skype connection there.
Absolutely. Yep, we've got him up here. Steve, thanks for joining us today. I thought we could just jump right into the questions that we've got. So obviously this is the third year of the AMFLAT Circuit. Do you feel like it's hit its stride this year?
Not really. I think it's still a work in progress. They're still working out a lot of the kinks, some of the communication parts of it, and a lot of the finer details, but as a whole, I mean, it's starting to go a little bit smoother this year. We've got a lot of stuff going a lot earlier than I did in the past. So I think I'm getting used to how things got to go, but it's definitely still a long ways to go. Still working out the kinks and still trying to make it better.
Absolutely.
Well, this year there's been a change. Well, a couple changes, but the first change is to the official class system. Can you explain the class breakdown for this year?
Yeah, well, we kind of combined a couple of the classes up. In the first few years, it started off, there was just expert and master class, and then last year we added the veteran class and intermediate class as kind of some experimental to see what kind of participation we would get. Also bumped up to having the Pro Series, splitting up the circuit into two different series, the AMs and the Pros. And that went over pretty well as far as from the Pro participation and how they, enjoyed it and stuff between Matt and Terry. The feedback I got from them was pretty good. So this year, though, we're kind of still searching, still trying to get a right formula to try to get as many riders out as possible. I try to take as much feedback, good or bad, that I can from the riders, and most everything I try to do is what I feel like the riders are asking for. Some riders may want more classes, to kind of fit themselves into a different class, but kind of the overwhelming response I got was that this compress it, the less classes there are, I think it could work out the better. We'll get more riders per each class, a little more competitive, and push some of the guys to really move forward. If you're near the bottom of one class, that'll really push you to get near the top maybe by the end of the year. So hopefully that can help with progression. So the class lineup for this year is going to be veteran class, which is going to be like an over 30 class. Some riders who maybe want to still compete again or get back into competing after taking a lot of time off and don't know where they fit in at the novice or expert class. So the vet class has not had great participation, but we're hoping it gets a lot better this year. So all the events this year will have veteran class. We got rid of kind of the expert master class, and we're going with more of what traditionally the European contests and the Japanese contests do. And I know King of Ground runs novice, expert, pro, and we're going to kind of base ourselves off that. So the novice class now is going to be basically entry, beginner level, all the way up through maybe the mid-level expert riders from last year. So that's going to be one full class. The other class we're going to have is going to be the expert class, which, even though it has the same name as a class last year, is the elite top class. So expert class is going to be the top of the expert class from last year, as well as all the masters from last year. So a little confusion in the naming of it. Got some feedback on that. But for the most part, experts is the top of the line as far as amateurs go. And we're also going to keep, pro. So just veteran, novice, expert, pro. Keep it simple and try to get as many riders out as we can. Hopefully they can. Novice should be able to fit some more riders in. I know some of the, beginners, intermediate riders didn't really know where they fit in. They didn't want to sandbag in a beginner class, and now there's more of a place for some of those guys to go. So we're pretty excited to see how it goes. It could blow up in our faces, or it could be work out well. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Yeah. Obviously we know that the first stop is coming up here pretty quick with the Toronto CFO Flatland Unlimited number 8.
Number 8, yeah.
And it's got a really nice pro purse.
It should attract some, not only just North American-based riders, but it should attract riders, period. It's that big.
A global presence.
Yeah.
I think we've heard about some global riders already coming to the event.
I think Alex is going.
Heard some rumors there.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, how important is the pro class to the success of the AMFLAT circuit?
Yeah.
I think it's very important, especially with adding it last year and getting a lot of feedback from the pros. I think to grow and to get the exposure that we're looking for, and to just the promotion and the sponsorships, especially like outside of BMX sponsorships, the more we can either get on TV and in magazines and on web edits and stuff like that, is a lot of the times by having the pros there. The pros are usually what draws guys to come. They know big names guys are coming. A lot of riders will come out to those classes. So to involve the pros is really important. Also to finally have like a #1 overall American, rider, and AMFLAT, North American champion is pretty big. I know that Matt was really stoked on being the top rider in the U.S. last year. So I think for individual pros, it's good to have a ranking system now where they can, bring that out to their sponsors. They can say, look, I was ranked, wherever I was, for the circuit, and hopefully that'll help them gain some sponsorships or get more exposure for themselves. So I think as far as bringing in future sponsorships and just credibility as a whole to the circuit, it's really important to have pros.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The second stop, which has also been announced, is going back to Joplin, Missouri, for Jomo Pro. And unless you weren't paying attention last year, everybody knows that Joplin got hit with a pretty major tornado in May of 2011. So taking all of that into consideration, was there any thought about moving that contest to a different location?
The whole that Jomo Pro is mainly like Pat Schoolin and kind of operates that contest, so I don't really do much with the organization of it. So for me, it was just a wait and see if they were actually going to run it or not. I know right after the tornado, I contacted Pat and contacted some of the guys at the bridge in Joplin who run the contest, and the actual event location wasn't actually hit, but a lot of the people and employees and the people who, the kids who actually go to the skate park all the time, a lot of them were affected. So I wasn't too sure on if they were going to do it or not. I kept the kind of calendar open to have that as one of the rounds if it was going to happen. And kind of last minute, just a few months ago, actually Pat and Fat Tony are the ones who are mainly working on it this year, told me that it was going to go, so we threw it in there. As long as it's happening, it's going to be around on the circuit. It's definitely a big stop. It's a great contest every year, one of the best in the country the last few years. So to have them on, it's huge this year, especially with what's happened last year. I think it'd be cool to show our support to especially that area and everything else by just being there again. Absolutely,
it's important to support places that have supported you, and Joplin has definitely helped BMX in general. Take us through the event day. So all the planning has gone into it, the tweets have gone out, flyers are in, it's event day. You wake up, are you crazy busy? Is your phone blowing up, or can you relax?
For me, I don't really, aside from last year, the main events I don't organize myself. I don't have a whole lot to do with them. I offer my help anywhere I can when I'm at the event. I make myself available. Some of the contest organizers take advantage of that, some don't. I try to help out best I can, whether it's just manning the time clock or mopping the floors. But as far as my stress level or my to-do list on the event is the same as any other. Me competing in the circuit as well as kind of running the circuit. For me, it's just the main, just having fun and just riding. So I don't really compete on a high level. I just like to do it. I enjoy it. It's fun, and that's mainly the reason I go to the events is to compete. As far as circuit stuff goes, mainly thing I do is just make sure I'm posting stuff on Twitter and getting results out there as quick as I can and taking some notes for the website. But as far as event operation stuff like that, I don't have a whole lot to do with that, but I do what I can where I can, and if they need me, they know they can use me, and if they don't, then that's fine too.
Sounds fair. So who are the other people? We know you don't do this alone, and you like to give credit where credit's due. Who are the other people behind the scenes that are helping out with this?
The first year of it was mainly just me doing it on a whim and just running the circuit. But over the last 2 years, getting to know some of the riders and getting to do some of that stuff. The main guys now kind of forming up a whole team of guys I bounce ideas off of, and we all kind of work on stuff now. And Todd Carter out in California, Joe Sisman in Ohio, my brother and my wife are the main driving force right now behind the circuit. Joe's going to have a little bit more to do with the website this year, and those guys are always tweeting stuff and helping promote it in any way they can. Todd Carter did the flyer for the first round for this year so far, so any way that those guys can help me, I bounce tons of ideas and information off them, and any way they can help me is awesome. So those are the main kind of guys that I rely on right now.
Very cool.
Absolutely. I hear now that you have some news for us. So last question is, what's going on with stop number 3 and number 4? Care to share with us some juicy details?
Yeah, definitely. I know in the past it's been a lot of kind of post some stuff up on the website and round 3 and 4 to be announced, and most of the time everyone knows when Toronto is, first weekend in March. So Joplin's going to be, it's a little later than it was last year. It's going to be more near the end of April. But as far as round 3 goes, there's no Indy Red Bull contest this year that's happening. So Joe Miller's stepping up. He's going to be running a contest out of his skate park in Anderson, Indiana. It's going to be called Anarchy in Anderson, and that's July 27th to 28th. The surface at Joe's skate parks was probably the best I've ridden on. A few of us last year when we went to Indy stopped there, myself, Bo Wade, my brother, I know Tyler Gilliard and Mitch Hall have rode there before, so they can attest that it's top-notch as far as surface goes. It might be one of the best surfaces that we'll have on the series this year. So it's an awesome spot. It's a real grassroots kind of contest. It's going to be real laid back, I think, and we're excited to have an event in that area, kind of in the Midwest there, and super stoked that Joe's stepping up for that. and then round 4 of the finals this year, we're switching things up, trying to get more participation maybe out west and down south. So Texas Flatland Roundup 8 is going to be the final stop, October 12th and 13th, and
Nice.
that's in San Marcos, Texas. So we're really excited to finally get down there. And for the last few years, the circuit's mostly been East Coast / kind of Midwest events this year. So to really get down there and get the Texas guys, I know there's tons of riders down there, and out west, just get maybe a different feel, a different participation, and get some more events kind of included. So super excited to have Texas down there.
Very cool, very cool. So stop 3, Anarchy in Anderson. Stop 4 is the Texas Roundup. That's cool. I can't think of a better place to end the series than in Texas with those riders.
Great weather, probably. Great riders. Thanks
Rad Dad.
Yeah, Rad Dad, obviously.
Yeah.
And so, Steve, thanks for sharing all those details with us. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank, sponsors that you'd like to shout out to?
Just mostly Todd Carter, Joe Sisman, my brother Sean Lapsley, my wife Christina Lapsley. They help out a lot. I also bounce a lot of stuff off of Pat from Flatland Fuel. We're really not pushing any sponsors this year for the circuit, but Pat's totally helping out in any way he can. So the main shout out sponsor type thing would be Flatland Fuel. Fat Tony also is going to be helping out a lot with some things on the circuit this year, so that should be pretty cool to have his input and be able to get some ideas off of him. So aside from people to thank, that's kind of where that is. It's not necessarily an event or a round on the circuit, but last year we had a round on the circuit. It was Tune Revolution. It was a big contest that we had last year. It was pretty cool to be. Kevin Jones actually judged the contest, and real cool environment, and they've invited us back. So it's not going to be an official round on the circuit, but I will be running an event at Tune Revolution again this year. That'll be August 25th. So it's in between the 3rd and 4th rounds, so it's kind of like an all-star weekend. It's going to be more of a jam format, but there's going to be some cash prize and stuff like that, probably like a best trick contest or a hardest trick contest kind of thing. So that's something to look forward to. But aside from that, I'm excited to have all 4 rounds, have the dates and times and all the classes, everything set right from the get-go before the season even starts this year. So super excited to have that.
Very cool.
Very, very, very cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for your time. It was very, very cool talking to you, and, hopefully see you out there on the contest circuit.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, man. See you soon.
All right, man. Cool.
All right. Well, great interview, great details. So just a quick recap there on the juicy details that were just announced.
Yeah, let's first go through the classes. Veteran for old folks. Novice, Expert, and Pro. First stop in Toronto at the CFO Unlimited.
That's right.
That is March 2nd and 4th. $4,000 pro purse.
Pros.
Pros. Yeah. Round 2 back in Jomo Pro, Joplin, Missouri. That is going to be April 21st and 22nd. That's always a good contest.
Absolutely.
Can't complain. And then the 2 announcements tonight, round 3.
Anarchy in Anderson.
Yeah.
This one's going to be on July 27th through the 28th in Anderson, Indiana.
Joe Miller Skate Park, which Steve has promised is the best riding surface on the circuit.
That's right. So if you're going to attend only one of these events, that might be the one
attend them all. Yeah, go to all of them.
Yes, go to all of them. Don't attend one, attend all.
Yeah. And then, actually, very cool, round 4 in Texas, San Marcos, Texas, the Texas Flatland Roundup, October 12th and 13th. That is going to be awesome.
You can't beat it. It's going to be in Texas. It's probably going to be warm. It's October. It's going to be cold everywhere else.
I'm going to try to put my, I don't know if my money where my mouth is the right expression, but I'm going to try to attend these contests. It's a busy year. I'm getting married this year, but I think the wife would love a trip to San Marcos.
Absolutely.
To see some Flatlanders. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Can't wait.
All right. Well, we've got a lot more to share with you on the show, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right, well, we're back. Again, special thanks to Steve Lapsley for giving us the time and the exclusive on the announcements for stops 3 and 4. For all of the details on that, please go to the website. That's AMFLAT All the details will be there, and a lot of cool stuff. You can always follow your rankings, get the stop information. Great place to go.
Absolutely.
Yep. So in closing, we have a couple of announcements for upcoming stuff.
Yep, and something we're all going to be very jealous of.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You know, I mean, I'm going back to Japan again for personal reasons, trying to plan a wedding over there, but I can't go to Japan without trying to get some type of Flatland coverage, content, footage of somebody. So right now I'm working on securing a day where a few riders from Osaka can come out and you know, maybe do a quick little session, maybe an interview. I've got a couple key riders in mind. I'm not going to say who until it's confirmed, but hopefully in March we'll have something to show, a little mini edit of the Osaka Flatland scene. In addition to that, we have a project that we're working on.
Yeah, something I'm really excited about.
Yeah, so you may or may not have seen the local Flatlander here in Portland. His name's Blake Hicks. He does something called the Tron bike, or the elecTRON bike. Very cool. He does a lot of shows every year. He's actually on tour right now doing some shows. But we are working on his second edit. First one is up 750,000 views. So if we can duplicate that, we'll be doing well.
Absolutely. More views than our entire season 1.
More views by like a multiple of 10.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy, so we're going to help him out and do our best to make a kick-ass edit for elecTRON Bike Part 2. So look for that, what, end of February?
Yeah, here just in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we've got a little sneak peek that we're going to show you right now.
How was that?
Awesome! I think you're going to get you get the whole idea of what this edit's all about.
You can see where we're going with that little clip of the edit that we're doing.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, look for that coming out soon. He's a good guy, great Flatlander, super positive. It'll be a fun edit. And finally, we mentioned this last episode. Jungle Rider is on board this year to help out with some sponsorship. We're going to give away products. That is still in the works. We're not giving up on it. Marty's not giving up on it. But until we have super concrete details, we're not going to try to announce anything and not be able to back it up. So we're working on that. We should have something in the next episode or two to announce what you can win, how you can win it. So please stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
So how can you watch us? Well, you're watching us now.
Well, you're probably watching us on many different places, but there are lots of other places you can watch us. So obviously you can watch us on iTunes, Vimeo, YouTube, a lot of other things. You know, search for us on any device you might have, although I hear on these wonderful Android tablets it's a little bit difficult. So if you do, just head over to our website where you can get in contact with us, which is FlatWebTV.com. And you can always get the latest news and updates from us, what we're doing, what we're into, on Facebook, which is facebook.com/FlatWebTV.
Pretty soon here, Justin's going to rev up the Twitter engine, and what's that again?
That would be twitter.com/everydaytropic.
So look for that.
Yep. I have come out of the winter, you know, hibernation, and obviously beard husk up a little bit, and I'll be tweeting again. So connect with me there. So with that, we want to thank our sponsor, Jungle Rider, for helping us out this year. And once again, my name is Justin Hoey.
I'm Anthony Bulio.
And this was FlatWeb TV.
I feel like we can cut a whole minute off of what we just did, at least.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we were a little chatty.
We always are.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. It's going to be so funny. It's going to be like cats dancing or something. It's so funny. It's tight.
And I'm glad that we cut that out, or did it again, because my whorehouse reference won't be in the show. You're going to get Chip Foose at a whorehouse.
I'm glad I didn't even say Chip Foose's name this time. Nobody knew who that was. After I said it, I'm like, 90% of people heard.
I know about his dad. I don't know who Chip is.
Let's go TV show.
I know, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yeah.